Article about Cathy Wood essentially begging the Federal Reserve to reverse their monetary policy. Here's an article from CNBC, got released on Monday, October 10th. ARKK's Cathy Wood issues open letter to the Fed saying it is risking an economic bust. Let's talk about the highlighted points. The Federal Reserve is likely making a mistake in its hardline stance against inflation. Cathy Wood said Monday in an open letter to the central bank. Instead of looking at employment and price indexes from previous months, Wood said the Fed should be taking lessons from commodity prices that indicate the biggest economic risk going forward is deflation, not inflation. The Fed seems focused on two variables that, in our view, are lagging indicators: downstream inflation and employment, both of which have been sending conflicting signals and should be calling into question the Fed's unanimous call for higher interest rates. Wood said in a letter posted on the firm's website. Here's this particular letter posted on ARKK. ARKK extends an open letter to the Fed. So we're back to the open letter era. You remember during when Obama was in office for those 8 years, and all the social media activists kept doing these open letters, open letter to this community, open letter to that, as if anybody is going to really sit down and read this stuff. So she's doing this open letter to the Fed as if, I don't think they're going to read it, but I mean, it makes sense. And I kind of explain why I think she's doing it. In this particular article, in this summary, we delineate first the upstream price deflation that is likely turned into downstream deflation. Then we focus on two variables, employment and headline inflation, upon which the Fed seems to be making its decisions, right, which is its jobs. In our view, both are lagging indicators. Commodity prices are leading indicators upstream in the process of processing, upstream in the stages of processing, I apologize. Most commodity prices have peaked, and except food and energy are falling on a year-over-year basis as shown below. Without question, food and energy prices are important, but we do not believe the Fed should be fighting and exacerbating the global pain associated with a supply shock to agriculture and energy commodities caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So here's their chart of commodity prices. First thing, the Fed is mandated by Congress to manage employment and inflation. They can't now change their mandate to manage commodity prices or to use commodity prices. So their job is to move their tools based around what employment inflation data that they're getting. That's their mandate from the Congress. They can't change that midstream, right? So really, if she wants the Fed to change how they're doing it, she should probably reach out to Congress and get them to change the federal mandate. Now, why is she doing this? And this is something that I really try to get the people that take my course to understand. I try to get the people that don't take my course but watch my YouTube videos to understand, is the actual construction and the actual market profile. We are in a market that is based on monetary policy. It's not based on anything else. It's not based on people being geniuses. It's not based on people being smarter than you. It's not based on the fact that they got a better culture than you. It's based on monetary policy. And Cathy Wood's fund was able to expand because she differentiated herself by the type of companies that she chose to invest in. And she's able to get on YouTube and give these big forward-reaching narratives around, we're going to be flying around like the Jetsons in 5 years, and Tesla's going to be 5,000 a share, in 5 more years. And Zoom's going to be the company of the future. And then I'm going to invest in these genome companies, even though genome is going to be a big deal, but they are still in the R&D stage. This means they need to burn to a lot of capital that actually create products to take to market. And so she positioned herself as being ahead of the curve with her investment decisions. And that was kind of how she marketed herself. The issue was that works in an easy money policy. When liquidity starts getting taken out of the market, when the cost of debt starts to go up, and when people start to take risk, because anytime you invest, you're taking on a risk. When people start to reanalyze their risk structure based on, what they think they should be doing with their money, her fund started getting a lot less attractive to people. As a result, the fund is now turning negative. Now, people are still investing with her, but the returns are trash. So now what she's doing is she's advocating on behalf of her fund, which is her job. This is not the first time she's done this, but the first time she's essentially done this formally. She's advocating because if we now go into a recession, it still could be detrimental to a fund because it could also create a lack of liquidity in the markets because we go into a recession. The way Cathy Wood has constructed her funds is she needs massive liquidity to be able to operate the way she wants to operate. She needs money to be so easy, people are not worried about returns for the next 10, 15, 20 years. She can't operate in an environment where people need returns over the next 2 to 5 years. It won't work that way for her. And this is what I want people to understand. And once you start to really understand this and you understand what's driving the inflows and what's driving the outflows and what's creating the returns on capital, and you understand that there's rules that have been created that allowed this to happen. And once they changed the rules, then it couldn't happen anymore. And then now she's advocating for the rules to be based on something else, not on inflation and employment, for it to be based on commodity prices, which to me is absurd. But they have to come up with something to create an argument because she needs to advocate on behalf of her funds. Okay, so the woman that we were told was a futurist, the woman that we were told understands what's going to happen 8 years from now, and everybody just needs to figure it out. The woman that they promoted over the past 3 to 4 years as being this expert investor, everybody was calling her Aunt Cathy, and everybody was buying what she was buying, like Teladoc and things of that nature. Now is coming out to people that actually understand what's going on, because the problem is most people can't see this. They can't see what's right in front of them, right? When a fund manager of a fund that I think she manages around 14 billion is telling you that I need monetary policy to change, it tells you that it's really not about the companies that she picked, but it's more about monetary policy. And if we have the right monetary policy, hell, we can pick anything as long as we can market it and create a positive narrative around it and get people to put money behind it. We'll make money because she makes money via AUM, assets under management. She doesn't make money on her returns, and even if she does, that's going to be less than what she makes money for the pool of capital she gets paid to manage. And this is why I really encourage people to actually understand how this market is structured. And then don't just talk about it, actually go out here in the world and do something about it. Once you understand it, that's how you prove you have an understanding. Hope you got value from it. We're going to leave the link to the article in the description for this particular video. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.